All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are taking the vocabulary list from Lesson 31 and turning it into an engaging, contextual word journey. Today, we're not just rote memorizing definitions, we are uncovering the actual stories behind these words and how they shape our everyday understanding of the world. So, looking at our source material for Lesson 31, it immediately throws 12 absolutely essential words our way. But instead of just slogging through them A to Z like a dusty old dictionary, we're going to group them logically. That way they'll actually stick in your mind for good. Here is the game plan for today. We have 4 distinct chapters. 1. Movement and restraint. 2. Passion and conflict. 3. The absurd and unusual. And finally, 4. Reading record holders. Chapter 1. Movement and Restraint. First up, we have commuter. As the text lays out, a commuter is quite literally one who travels regularly, especially over a considerable distance between home and work. Now, you might think, okay, I know what a commuter is. But what's really fascinating here is how the textbook frames this as an actual defining identity. It's not just running to the store once. It implies a rigorous routine, a serious sacrifice of time, and usually a massive geographical distance between 2 totally different worlds. And you can see how this plays out in real life through these textbook examples. Like the average commuter would absolutely love a chance to live closer to their job, right? Or dealing with the conductor verifying your ticket on the train. And I love this third one, using that huge chunk of travel time to actually earn college credit. It really hits the nail on the head. Commuting is this weird state of being where a huge chunk of your life literally happens in transit. Now, let's flip the script completely with our next word, confine, which simply means to keep in or hold in. So if being a commuter is all about constant motion and travel, being confined is the exact opposite. It's the absolute zero of movements. And these 3 sentences do a fantastic job of showing how versatile this word really is. You've got the classic example, a fugitive caught and confined to jail by the law. But then it shifts. You can be isolated and confined to your house by a nasty virus, or, like President Roosevelt, physically confined to a wheelchair by illness. Confinement isn't always about prison bars, you know. It can be brought on by justice, by health, or just sheer physical circumstance. Chapter 2, Passion and Conflict. Moving on to dispute. The textbook defines this as to disagree, oppose, try to win, or a debate or disagreement. The key takeaway here: a dispute is not just some polite difference of opinion, it is active. It's a fierce attempt to win. You are literally opposing someone. Just look at the energy in these examples. Patriotic soldiers fiercely disputing every single inch of physical ground in a battle, or a losing team stubbornly disputing a call right up to the final minute of a game, or even just a noisy dispute in a hallway that draws a crowd of neighbors. It's a word packed with friction and high tension. And when those disputes escalate into something genuinely dangerous, well, that brings us to valor. The text keeps it beautifully simple: bravery, courage. When a conflict hits a boiling point or severely tests your morals, valor is exactly what's required to face it head on. Notice how the source material reserves valor for genuine heroes. We're talking about the historical valor of Vietnam veterans or Washington's men freezing at Valley Forge. But it's also local, like a fireman's valor rushing into a flaming house to save a family. Valor isn't some abstract idea. It is an undeniable action taken when literally everything is on the line. Chapter 3. The Absurd and Unusual. Okay, let's get into words that describe the, well, let's call it the less rational side of human behavior. Because human nature isn't all serious conflicts and daily commutes. Starting with lunatic. The text pulls absolutely no punches here. A crazy person, insane, extremely foolish. I mean, consider the sheer absurdity in these scenarios. Willingly descending into a monster's cave? Yeah, only a lunatic would do that. Or stubbornly holding onto completely lunatic ideas that every logical mind has already rejected. And I'm sure we can all relate to example C, having a roommate with some grand, slightly unhinged lunatic ideas about changing the world. It perfectly captures that total departure from common sense. On a much lighter note, we have jest. The book defines it as a joke, fun, mockery, or to poke fun. It is basically the language of humor, which can be completely harmless, but sometimes carries a bit of a hidden, sharper edge. And the examples give it real nuance. Sure, sometimes people speak in jest just to drop a subtle message, but the text also draws a hard boundary. Do not jest about matters of morality. And it warns about places where honesty and hard work have actually become subjects of jest. So it highlights exactly where a joke stops being funny and starts being deeply disrespectful. Chapter 4, Reading, Record Holders. All right, here's where all of this builds into a unified narrative. The reading passage for Lesson 31 focuses on extreme world records, and it starts by setting up this wild contrast between a standard, everyday routine and what the author calls a dull, uneventful life. It really makes you ask, just how far will people go to escape the boredom of the ordinary? Well, the text answers that by dropping our new vocabulary right into some truly mind-boggling stories. Take Bruno Luthart. He was a champion commuter who willingly traveled 370 miles daily for 10 years. Talk about a commute. Or how about Emma Smith? She voluntarily confined herself in a coffin for 100 days just to pass the idle hours. Honestly, the extreme lengths people will go to are just astounding. It really makes you wonder, are these acts done in jest? Are they for patriotic reasons? Is it just a reckless vain and a total lunatic trying to add a splash of excitement to their life? Who knows? But as the passage rightly points out, no one will dispute the incredible valor it takes to endure those conditions, even if the reasons behind them seem absolutely crazy to the rest of us. To wrap up our explainer today, I'm going to leave you with a fill-in-the-blank challenge straight from the Lesson 31 exercises. Which of our 12 words perfectly completes this sentence? People still worship the blank of greed and power. Think deeply about what drives us, what we elevate, and what false images we revere. I'll let you chew on that. Thanks for coming on this word journey with me. Keep analyzing the language around you, and I'll see you in the next explainer.